Well, hello, all you art fans, and welcome to Art Talk. My name is Peggy Lyle, and I am the director for the Downtown Fort Collins Creative District. We're a state certified creative district that overlays downtown and is trying to be a champion for arts, music, and all the creative industry. We're really excited today. We get a chance to talk to Chris Bates, one of our town's most legendary artists, one of my good friends. Welcome, Chris. How you doing?
Good, Peggy. How are you doing?
Good. Hey, what have you been up to? I feel like I haven't gotten to chat with you for a while.
I've been keeping myself busy, really. Partnering with nonprofits a lot during this whole year, trying to spread my artistic talents out and donating to a lot of different causes.
Wow.
Trying to spend the year not focusing on how crazy things are and how things are, and trying to build up some good art karma for next year.
I love art karma. I think that's a great concept. I know that you have done some cool things that I've seen. You were part of the Neighbor to Neighbor fundraiser that helped with rent assistance, and you were doing some of your bird art. Is that correct? And people could get that as a part of donating to this rent assistance program we have here.
Yeah, the Neighbor to Neighbor thing kind of kicked it all off and gave me the idea, or at least kind of sparked this thing. And then I partnered with Child Safe, Neighbor to Neighbor again, the Cultural Enrichment Center downtown, and just was doing fundraisers on social media, auctioning off a piece of art every week and doing month-long partnerships, donating half the money.
Wow,
it kind of kept me sane and working throughout the whole pandemic shutdown part. And then I started doing murals. I did a couple of murals.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm so excited. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but we were really excited to have you paint one of our downtown outdoor patio barriers, kind of that they're using to create some of the temporary patios. And you were able to put a mural over at Bojo's Pizza.
Yeah, Bojo's. I did a box for the city. I did a mural over at Ridgeview Classical School. And then I did a bus stop for the town of Superior.
Wow, you've been busy.
Yeah, I mean, it's been not the greatest year financially, but I have donated, a chunk of my earnings, and just trying to, like I said, get through the year, make it into next year with some more.
Yeah, well, we're all trying to do the best we can, and it's wonderful of you to be able to give back to the community. We all really appreciate it. I know you're also a big music fan. You went out to some, relatively limited options of seeing live music, but I know I saw you at the Foco MX Drive and Jive. Yeah. And you're always a champion for music, and we appreciate that too.
A couple Mishawaka shows.
That's great. Wow. That's great. Well, we gotta help support all of the creative industry. We're really excited. I wanted to ask you, what is some of your inspiration this year? How are you getting creative again? How do you kind of keep those juices flowing?
What I really kind of got into this year was cutting out wood with jigsaws, kind of like the black and white piece behind me, instead of just painting on canvases, or sometimes I do masonite panels. I was taking plywood and cutting out different shapes, kind of how I did the birds and mountain scenes, just different portraits. So I'm really interested right now, like cutting out organic shapes and drawing and painting on top of those. So
that's kind of fun. It gives your 2D visual painting kind of that 3D element by putting it on some of these kind of cutout pieces. I think that's a neat idea.
Layer, like the tree on this one, you can see how it's kind of sitting off. So I'm like playing with different dimensions, layering things, and I don't know, it's fun. Get out there and cut some wood with a saw.
Well, hey, I wanted to talk about, I know you mentioned that you did some transformer cabinets, that you've done those in the past. I know you did some of the barriers, as we mentioned, for the restaurants, but I know that there's also other parts of public art that people can go out and tour and walk around throughout downtown. And one of those happens to be a mural, which I'm really excited to talk to you about. It's located over at the Exchange, which is kind of on the north end of Old Town. And it's kind of an exciting piece of history. Can you tell us what this mural is?
Yeah, if you can see it, it's on Pine Street, right on Crooked Stave as you enter it from the Exchange. If you were to walk behind Firehouse Books in a Firehouse Alley. You could see it
Got it.
at the far west end. That's kind of the best way to see it, is walk down Firehouse Alley from Linden Street. You can see it from afar and get up close. And it's a portrait of Harper Goff. He's a Disney legend that spent some of his childhood in Fort Collins. And the mural tells his kind of his life story, his achievements with Disney and architecture. He's kind of a real genius Renaissance man.
Kind of a legend of Fort Collins that, honestly, until you did the mural, I feel like he was really, really underappreciated. Can you tell us a couple of his accomplishments or movies that he worked on that people would know?
Yeah, the most famous things he's known for is he designed Main Street, Disneyland. He also did Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, a lot of the set designs and all the machinery. And then he has done things for the Houston Astros. He did this hotel this top level of this hotel that's like this gigantic one. It was the most expensive hotel room in the world at the time.
Oh.
He's an inventor. He's an artist. He was a wild thinker. And
he lived here for a while. I think that's really cool.
And so that's kind of the Fort Collins tie to Disneyland, is through this man. And then since this mural's been made, I've had an opportunity to meet one of his cousins that saw a video that we'll show a little later and reached out to me, and I got to take her down and we looked at the mural and talked about his life. And even through this whole crazy shutdown on and off time, I've had multiple people tag the mural and posts, and there's like a Disney tourism that's starting to happen, because there's all these Disney people that travel over the country looking for, like, I guess they're Disney relics or something. And somehow it got on the map of certain bloggers and people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. Well, and I know he, even though he worked on all these projects, like you mentioned, Willy Wonka, that's of course the 1970s Willy Wonka with Gene Wilder, not the more recent one with, we won't even talk about that one. And he also did 20 Leagues Under the Sea. Yeah. But I know a little inside secret. In this mural that you painted, you gave him something that he really didn't get otherwise. Could you tell us what that was?
Oh yeah. I gave him his Oscar. There was like some contentious issues with 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea because of the direction that he wanted to take it. And the story's not exactly clear as to what it happened, but he wasn't included correctly on the credits for the work that he did, and the Oscar went to someone else for that film.
So you snuck an Oscar in there for him. I think that's pretty special. Well, there are tons of public art pieces, your mural included, that are all throughout downtown that people can kind of walk around and see. I know the Creative District just worked with the state to help log a lot of the murals in town so that you can travel around and see them. You can also get lists of those murals at Fort Collins Mural Project, and also Art in Public Places with the City of Fort Collins. Chris, I know that you helped lead kind of the artistic charge for the Exchange Fort Collins, which is where this Harper Goff mural is. Could you talk to us about what other art is at the Exchange and other artists that were involved?
Yeah, I mean, really, I have to say Brinkman, the company that built the Exchange out, they really led the charge, and they had contacted me to enhance some of the, I don't know, less appealing parts of the Exchange, like the electric meters and gas, like little gas valves and storm drains. And that's how the conversation had started between us. Lindy Zimmer did a big mural with the Fort Collins Mural Project.
That's the big woman, right? On Crooked Staves kind of building.
Yeah, in the common area there. And then also just Diane Finley had some transformer boxes that already lived there. And so I hired her essentially because they were putting a lot more boxes next to hers. So I hired her to just kind of collaborate and take her box and do a series of them. And then I started out there and we kind of like melded them in the middle.
Oh, I love that. And that's actually called Harper Goff Alley, right?
Yeah, kind of where that
mural to
the little
Jefferson.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a fun little Easter egg kind of piece of art at the Exchange that I love. And there's kind of a raccoon when its drain is sort of the mouth. Did you do that one as well? It's on the Jefferson side.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that one. It's so fun. You're so creative.
Yeah, it's fun just to work on that project. It was, you know, it took a whole summer of art making and just kind of picking out different features all along the whole block and seeing what I could transform them into.
Yeah, well, I love it. And I think it was a great example of other development projects, and hoping that a lot of those people adopt the same kind of immersion technique of having art as part of their plan from the very beginning and creating a really cool space. Well, I know that we have a really cool video. I want to talk a little bit about that before we watch it. You got together with some other creative guys here in town, also musicians, and created a cool video. Can you talk about who you worked with?
Yeah, I worked with some of my very good friends, Corey and Cody, guys I've known through art. We met through art at Focal MX. I don't know how many years ago, eight years ago. And ever since, we've been doing things together. I'll paint at shows. They'll hire me to do album art, t-shirt designs. They help me with video editing because they're local musicians, but they're also local producers. They are photographers, they're video editors. And
they're kind of clothing designers too. You can get some cool hats and yeah.
Yeah, they just do a ton of things heavily involved in the community, and we're just like-minded creative people that enjoy each other's company. So when I did the Harper Goff mural, I brought them on to help document some of that process and the story behind it so that we would have something to kind of live past just walking around and finding it.
Well, I love it. And I just want to encourage everybody to come out and they can see art all month long. It's really art walk any day. So people can do that if they need more resources or lists of places that they can go visit, check things out in the public space. They can go to downtownfortcollins.com. And so Chris, it's been so good to visit with you. I'm going to kind of wrap things up so we can watch the cool video. But you know, stay creative. You're doing amazing things. I love seeing all the artwork behind you. I know you've scored some big murals that you're working on. And 2021 is going to be really exciting. Can't wait to see what you got going on.
Yeah, it's good seeing your face, Peggy.
Yeah. So without further ado, we want to go ahead and launch this wonderful video of Chris Bates painting his mural, Harper Goff, produced by Kind of. Thanks again, Chris, and have a great evening.
My name is Chris Bates. I'm an artist living in Fort Collins, Colorado. I've been doing murals for the past decade plus. I've been drawing in this style with the black and white line drawings I call fine tunes that tell stories of people's lives or places, using interior images to build up the story and create the actual subject. Doing a mural of Harper Goff, one of the most talented people ever to come out of the town I grew up in. This whole project was a partnership with Brinkman, which is a big developer in town. They're redoing this whole block of Old Town, renaming it the Exchange. And initially they hired me to do a bunch of small projects, transforming electric boxes and gas meters, and water drains, things like this, into art pieces. You know, having Brinkman and having a developer that wanted to incorporate art into a whole block of downtown was something that I never kind of ran into before. They were really supportive, and they were just into seeing what ideas that I had, making my vision happen, and they just let me run with things. Anytime I start one of these drawings, I kind of start with like a little road map. So I have a kind of image like this that I work off of. And then it's just kind of like a guide to where I go. And then I've been using these Molotov markers and golden high flow liquid acrylic paints. And it's just kind of interpreting where areas go, what's going to be a dark black, and then using line techniques to kind of create grayscale. So it's just differentiating of thickness of lines, how close they are together, to kind of create different levels of gray, so that when you step back, you don't see the lines at all, you just see image, but when you get up close, it's just this explosion of line work and stories. So every single little image in here tells his life story.
And from there, I spent 3 to 4 weeks just kind of researching Harper Goff's life. Once I created the image that was going to be the foundation of the mural, I just started incorporating all the things that I learned about him into illustrations to start to build the story of his life.
When you're looking at it, you can interpret what Harper Goff did in his life. You can look at it as a whole, you can look at it as individual drawings, you can look at it as line work. So it's something that has tons of different levels and ways to appreciate the artwork.
He's one of the most accomplished people that's probably ever come out of Fort Collins. He helped develop Main Street Disneyland, which a lot of the architecture is modeled after Fort Collins. And then he also worked on art direction for 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And during the process of researching and creating this mural, I've just kind of come to realize how impactful something like this can be and is going to be for our community. So being able to use this mural as an education tool for the kids that are growing up in this town, to show them, here's a person that was born here, raised here, and went on to do amazing things. And hopefully that can inspire some young people growing up to feel like that's within their capabilities as well. And also to kind of honor this person that had so much to give and offer the world, and be able to memorialize him and tell his story in a way that he would appreciate. I think that having art out there accessible for people, no matter what your background is, where you're from, that's the stuff that inspires me and that keeps me wanting to do public art.